Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the course. So we are in chapter number 14. Okay, if you've made it this far, well done. Your dedication is admirable, and we are almost complete with this entire course. So just bear with me. Alright, so let's have a look at what chapter number 14 has in store for us. So as we can see, we've got a reading comprehension, section A. So before we read this, it's titled The History of Cinematography. Okay, so before we read this, just adhere to certain things. Make sure that you go through this and you look at the words that you're not necessarily familiar with. Familiarize yourself with these words. Look up the definition, look up the meaning, and then revisit this reading article to expand your understanding. And please pay attention to how I pronounce certain words, pay attention to my use in intonation, and don't rush, take your time, enjoy, and let's get going. So, cinema is much younger than theater. It was born at the end of the 19th century. The first people who showed the first movies to a paying public were the Lumiere brothers of France. They did this on the 20th February 1896 at the Grand Café, Boulevard des Capucines, Paris. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This was the first cinema shown, and it was quickly followed by many others in all parts of the world. All the 1996 we celebrated the 100th anniversary of cinematography. The first films showed moving people and transport or newsreels of processions and wars and short comedies. In 1901, France was the first country to produce a dramatic film, The Story of a Crime, which was followed by the Great Train Robbery in the United States in 1903. At first, films were shown anywhere, in music halls, clubs, and shops. By 1908, special film theaters were built to give regular programs. At this time, cinema rapidly developed in both the New and the Old World. Charlie Chaplin made his first film, Making a Living, in 1914 in the USA. At the time, the world was crazy about Charlie. That was created by Charlie Spencer Chaplin. His Charlie, small and clumsy, yet kind-hearted, generous and brave, has attracted the hearts of simple people in different countries. Sometimes they stood in long queues to see a film with their favorite actor. The first films in the West were mainly melodramas or comedies. Then, in 1927, Warner Brothers in Hollywood made the first film in which an actor sang and spoke. The film was called Jazz Singer. It opened a new era in films, the era of the Talkies. The film mostly told its story with titles, but it had 3 songs and a short dialogue. There were long lines of people in front of the Warner Theatre in New York. So the silent film was dead within a year. The first 100% sound film, Lights of New York, appeared in 1928. So the first color films were made in the 1930s, but the black and white films are made even today. Alright, okay, so let's have a look at the activities in the bottom. So now what we have to do is match the words with their meaning. So we've got number 1, let's read out the words. So we've got paying public, 2, to follow, 3, anniversary, 4, to appear, 5, robbery, 6, rapidly. 7, to be crazy about. 8, clumsy. 9, cue. And number 10, silent. So the meanings on the right, we have A, special date on which an event occurred in some previous year. Then we've got B, people who pay for some activity. Then we have C, to go or come after in the same direction. Then we have D, quickly. We have E, to like something very much. We have F, to become available, be published. G, a line of people waiting for something. H, without noise and sounds. I, act of stealing something. J, lacking in skill or physical coordination, who falls very often. So, let's start off with number 1, paying public. Paying public. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a countdown. Alright, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so with paying public, it's B. Trying to locate my mouse. So B, people who pay for some activity. So 1 goes with B. Okay, number 2, to follow. Alright, okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that will be C, to go or come after in the same direction. Right, then number 3, anniversary. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So an anniversary is a special date on which an event occurred in some previous year. Okay, then number 5, robbery. Robbery. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so robbery is I, the act of stealing something. Okay, the act of stealing something. Number 6, rapidly. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So rapidly is quickly. Quickly. Okay, then number 7, to be crazy about. To be crazy about. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the correct answer there, will be E, to like something very much. Okay, number 7, to be crazy about. 8, clumsy. So clumsy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so clumsy, best one I would choose would be J, lacking in skill or physical coordination, who falls very often. Alright, then number 9, Q. Q. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So a queue would be a line of people waiting for something. Okay, the number 10, silent. Silent. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So silence is without noise or sounds. Okay, alright, perfect. So now let's move on to the next activity here. Complete. Alright, so let's have a look at this. Complete the sentences with the words. So the words that we have available are follow, anniversary, silent, clumsy, cue, crazy, robbery, and appear. So we need to take these words and select where it is appropriate to insert them in the sentence. So I'll give you a couple of seconds in each one to decide which one is correct. So number 1, we have to be when teachers talking at the lesson. So what do you think we should select here? Alright, so silent. We have to be silent when teachers talking at the lesson. Right, number 2, though Charlie Chaplin was and fell all the time, public loved him. Okay, so which word here would you choose? Okay, so the correct answer here would be clumsy. So though Charlie Chaplin was clumsy and fell all the time, the public loved him. Okay, number 3. My friend loves Harry Potter. He is about the first movie. What do you think? Okay, so he is crazy about the first movie. Alright, number 4. I don't like waiting in at the supermarket. It takes so much time. So which word would you choose here? Alright, so I don't like waiting in a queue at the supermarket. It takes so much time. Alright, number 5. Of the bank is a bad idea. You'll be caught by police. Okay, so the correct answer here would be robbery of the bank is a bad idea. You'll be caught by police. Number 6. We celebrated Mom's 35 year this year. Which word? Alright, so 35-year anniversary this year. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Number 7. The dramatic movie The Story of a Crime was by the great train robbery. So which word would you choose here? Okay, so was to follow by the great train robbery. Okay, number 8. The first cinema in the USA in 1908. Okay, so which one do you think it is? Let's have a look at the options. Okay, so the first cinema to appear in the USA is in 1908. Alright, so now answer the questions. So number 1, when was the cinema born? So let's go back into the article and let's find the answer here. So, okay, so cinema is much younger than theater. It was born at the end of the 19th century. Okay, so it was born in the end of the 19th century. Let's see if we can. So my mouse keeps glitching. Okay, so the first people who showed the first movies to a playing public were the Lumiere brothers of France. They did this on the 20th February 1896. So let's go back to the question. So when was the cinema born? So we can say the cinema was born in the 19th century. Of course, it starts off like that. Then number 2, who showed the first movie? So the man that we just read there, what's his name? The Lumiere brothers of France. Okay, so they were the first people who showed the first movies to a paying public. Alright, then number 3, where and when was the first movie shown? Where and when was the first movie shown? So if we have a look here, it says they did this on the 20th February 1896 at the Grand Café Boulevard des Capucines or whatever, Paris. Okay, so we'll just say Paris. Okay, so number 4, what were the first films about? What were the first films about? So if we have a look at this article, it says the first films showed moving people and transport or newsreels of processions and wars and short comedies. Okay, then the next one, 5. Which country produced the first dramatic film? Which country produced the first dramatic film? So if we have a look here, it says France was the first country to produce a dramatic film. Alright, so number 6. When was the first cinema built? When was the first cinema built? So, if we have a look here, it says, at first films were shown anywhere, in music halls, clubs, and shops. By 1908, special film theaters were built to give regular programs. So, 1908. Okay, so, number 7, who is Charlie Chaplin? Who is Charlie Chaplin? So, if we have a look here, Charlie Chaplin, trying to get my mouse. Okay, he was an actor. Okay, Charlie Chaplin made his first film. He's small and clumsy yet kind-hearted, generous and brave. Alright, okay, so he was an actor basically. Sorry, let's go back there. Okay, who made the first talkie film? Who made the first talkie film? So then it says here, then in 1927 the Warner Brothers in Hollywood made the first film in which an actor sang and spoke. The film was called Jazz Singer. It opened a new era in films, the era of the talkies. So it was the Warner Brothers. They made the talkie film. Alright, number 9. When did the first 100% sound film appear? So if you have a look here, it says the first 100% sound film, Lights of the New York, appeared in 1928. So it appeared in 1928. The number 10, when did the first color film appear? Okay, so the first color films were made in 1930. Okay. Alright, so we are complete with this particular section, the reading comprehension. Well done. If you got anything incorrect, please revisit it, see where you made mistakes, and I will see you in the next